Welcome to today's workshop on resume preparation and how to crack interview in Java from fresher for fresher to experienced people. So actually, many students are struggling a lot. They don't know how to prepare a resume. So first of all, that is the main reason I conducted this workshop. What are the tips and tricks to be followed at the time of preparing the resume? Okay, and how to crack the interview. That also we'll try to discuss. So resume is it is like a gate pass or entry pass for a software job. Based on your resume only, how your resume will look like, based on that resume only, your profile will shortlisted. So definitely as a fresher, you have to take care of how to prepare your resume. Is it clear? So as a Java developer, though you're a fresher, or if you have 1 year gap or 2 years gap also, no problem. You can consider as a fresher. And what are the tips you have to follow at the time of preparing the resume? So first of all, some technical skill set is required. First, I'll discuss about the technical skill set for a Java developer. So in this technical skill set, you have to prepare something like this: programming languages, whatever you know. Mostly, if you know C language, you can mention. If you don't know, don't mention. Core Java, and some of the Java students know Python. If you know Python, keep Python. If you know TypeScript, keep as TypeScript also. It is not mandatory that you have to keep more technical skill set. Whatever you are comfortable, you mention those languages here. If you don't know C language, don't keep. If you know only core Java, keep only core Java. Some people core Java with Python, keep. Some people who know Angular, keep TypeScript also as a language. Okay. So I'm explaining you the technical skill set. Next, you can consider as web technologies. What are the web technologies? You have the knowledge, something like you can go for servlets, you can go, or you can go for a JSP, Java server pages. If you know JSTL tags, if you know, you can keep. Otherwise, JSP is enough. And these two you can keep. And here, if you want, you can keep something like database technologies also you can keep. Database technologies, like you can go for JDBC, or else you can keep here only, no problem. JDBC you can mix, no problem. And you can keep some frameworks, some UI technologies also you can mention. One more tab, UI technologies. In UI technologies, you can mention these three things: HTML, JavaScript, as well as CSS. And you can keep some UI frameworks. If you know only, you have to keep. If you don't know, don't highlight, because whatever you mention in the resume, everything is very important. UI frameworks you can keep. If you know Angular, you can keep Angular, and the version also you can keep Angular 9 or 10, whatever it may be. And if you're comfortable with React JS, you just keep mention that React JS. And you can keep some Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a CSS framework. Angular is a TypeScript framework. React JS is a internally it will use ES6 JavaScript only. Okay, now programming languages you have to mention, web technologies you have to mention. If you are strong in advanced Java, you have to keep all these three things: servlet, JSP, and JDBC. UI technologies you have to mention HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. UI frameworks like Angular, React JS, Bootstrap. And coming to server side frameworks, some server side frameworks you have to keep, like you can go for Spring, you can go for Spring Boot. If you're comfortable, with Hibernate, you can keep Hibernate, Data JPA. These all you can keep. Server side frameworks you can mention there. Are you following? It doesn't mean that you have to keep all these things in your resume. If you completed your complete Java, okay, if you're looking for a full stack Java developer, all the technologies you have trained successfully means you have to mention all the skill set in your resume. Like programming languages you have to keep, web technologies you have to keep, some UI technologies you have to keep, UI frameworks you have to keep, server side frameworks you can keep. And apart from this, you can go for database server, databases, or database softwares you can keep here. Database softwares, which database you are comfortable, that you can mention. If you have the knowledge on Oracle, you can keep both Oracle and MySQL also. If you have knowledge, you can keep. Or if you don't know Oracle, keep only MySQL. That is not an issue. Whichever you are comfortable, you have to mention that one. And here you can give something like web server. Which web server you are comfortable, you mention that one only. Like Apache, Tomcat, you can mention. Or if you're good at JBoss, you can keep JBoss. Don't keep all these technical stuff. If you're not comfortable means don't keep all this stuff. Are you following, everyone? And here you can go for some tools. If you have any knowledge on any tools in Java, you have to mention like what are the tools that are available, Maven or Gradle, build tools. Similarly, you can go for GitHub if you have any knowledge. Okay, na? And similarly, you can go for some JUnit. If you don't have the knowledge on all the tools, don't mention, no problem. Nobody will question you. But yeah, if you have H2 database, you can mention, yes, that's good. Inbuilt database. Some tools, some Maven, Gradle, these are the build tools actually. Some Docker, some Jenkins, if you have the knowledge only. Okay, na? Otherwise they will ask a lot of questions on this Jenkins. But actually one more point is also important. What is that one means? Your resume also must shortlist. Na? Definitely, it is not something like just preparing the resume. Companies must shortlist your resume means definitely based on your skill set only they will try to use. Yeah, deployment you can use Eureka, Heroku, all these things. Yes, Maven, Gradle, GitHub, JUnit, Docker, Jenkins. These are the minimum. Okay, and here you can go for IDEs. IDEs means integrated development environment. Are you following? IDEs means like Eclipse you can give. Which IDE you are comfortable? Okay, Eclipse is important, and STS Spring Tool Suite or IntelliJ. Don't keep all these things. Which IDE you are comfortable, you can mention that one. Yeah, Python means IDLG, PyCharm, all these things you can keep. Yes. And all this stuff you have to keep. And SDLC methodologies, if you have any knowledge on SDLC models, you have to mention like waterfall model, and the powerful model is Agile model. Nowadays, where all the companies are concentrating on Agile model. Version tools, you can go for GitHub means you can give some version tools you can give instead of tools. Here you can give versioning tools you can give. Or here you mention, because in tools you can mention if you want. That is not an issue. Yeah, Visual Studio Code. Yes, that's very important. Visual Studio Code for Angular developers. If you're a front end, if you're a full stack Java developer, 100% you have to mention Visual Studio Code. Is it clear? If you have any knowledge on cloud technologies, you can mention. Otherwise, no, not required. If you have any knowledge on cloud technologies, here you can mention Spring Cloud. Or if you have any knowledge on AWS, you can give AWS. Or Azure means keep Azure. I'm focusing on all the areas, fresher to experience level. That is the reason I'm mentioning all this stuff. Programming languages, web technologies, UI technologies, UI frameworks, server side frameworks, database softwares, is it clear? Web servers, tools, IDEs, SDLC models, cloud technologies, and operating systems. Which operating system you are comfortable in working operating system. Okay, na? Here you can mention either Windows operating system, or if you're good in Linux also, you can keep Linux. If you don't know Linux, don't keep. Are you following? Mostly in companies deployment point of view, you have to use Linux only. Development point of view, will use Windows in company's point of view. So this is the skill set what you have to mention. Are you following? As a Java developer, you have to prepare your resume. Is it clear? Even a fresher or experienced person, if any fresher don't have any knowledge on these things, you don't worry. Are you following? Fresher means you can keep these, you can remove whatever you are not comfortable, you can remove those stuff. Are you following? And here some data transfer, web technologies, here you can use some data transfer, something like data transfer technologies, you can write something like this. Like you can go for XML as well as JSON, you can keep here if you want. And design principles, if you have any knowledge on design principles, you can keep. One is solid principle, other one is acid principle. If you know all these stuff and if you prepare in your resume, if you mention, means it is definitely interviewer will impress. because you're not, you're clearly telling means I have the knowledge on solid principles. Very, very important actually. Solid principles means OOPS principles, how to apply the OOPS principles efficiently at the time of application development. If you want, you can watch my video in YouTube, Solid Principles by Kannababu. You will watch that one. Okay, na? At the time of development of the application, developer will follow this solid principle: single responsibility principle, open closed principle, LISCO substitution principle, interface aggregation principle, dependency inversion principle. Design principles. ACID principles are database design principles. Atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. CAP principles are also there. That is for MongoDB, but not required. Just generic resume I'm preparing from fresher to high level experience person. Design principles, and you can mention the design patterns also if you have any knowledge. If you have any knowledge on design pattern, just you can mention. No need to mention all the things. Some of the patterns important, like singleton design pattern, some factory design pattern, like MVC design pattern. Like design pattern is a ready-made solution for already existing technology. Big data, that is separate resume. My focus is only on fresher point of view. Are you following? Yeah, MVC is also another design pattern. Programming languages, web technologies, fresher to experience, this is enough. Don't keep everything in your resume. It is very difficult to survive in future. Means when you attend the interview, they will ask all the questions related to your resume. So be careful. If you mention any technologies, means definitely you must be careful. Are you following? Some tools like Jira also you can keep. These are the mandatory actually. Experienced people, 100% you must know about GitHub, no doubt. Definitely he will ask. If you tell I don't know GitHub, I didn't work on GitHub, means he will not tolerate. Either GitHub or SVN. One tool is required, but popular is GitHub. And one Docker also you must have some knowledge. Jenkins some knowledge. Jira, GitHub mandatory. Maven mandatory. Build tool. If you're not telling about these points, means they will not satisfy. Definitely they will get doubt. And IDE is also which IDE you are using in your company. Yeah, Eclipse or STS, Spring Tool Suite. And for Angular, we developed the application by using Visual Studio Code. Okay, and some testing tools also you can keep. Some JUnit, Mockito is also there. If you have the knowledge, you can keep. Otherwise, don't keep Mockito. But you have to learn here. As a Java developer, it is minimum you must have the knowledge on minimum 6 to 7 tools. In future, I will have some workshops on these tools also. Next week onwards, we'll plan one workshop on one tool. Okay, na programming languages, web technologies, UI technologies, UI frameworks, server-side frameworks, database softwares, web servers, tools, IDEs, SDLC models, cloud technologies, operating system, which operating system you are working with, which operating system you are comfortable with, data transfer technologies, design principles, design patterns, all this stuff. This is the skill set actually for a Java developer. Okay, na? As a fresher, first of all, you have to focus on your resume. So, how to prepare a fresher resume? Just we'll see here anyway. Fresher resume, first of all, any fresher or any experience, fresher especially, those who just completed their graduation, always first you have to follow some tips like don't copy paste the resume. First of all, if you want to copy paste also, how to copy paste, I will tell you. For example, you see, open one existing resume, Control A, Control C. Open one separate Word document. Open a separate Word document and paste. Don't edit the existing resume. Why? I will tell you. Okay, na? Now here it is a fresh document. It is a fresh new document here you see. Okay. Now here you can edit. Write your name. Very, very important. Capital letters. Write your email ID. Email ID also must not be a funny email ID. Create a professional email ID. For example, your name is Jyoti Chauhan. You can create one email at jyotichauhanjava@gmail.com or Kannababu Java @gmail.com. Some professional email ID or your name followed with your BTech roll number Kanna Barna on 022@gmail.com. Don't create any funny email IDs. Okay, create some professional email ID so that definitely interviewer will, if your profile will shortlist, they will send the interview details and everything through your mail. And always you have to check your mail because software companies will always focus communication channel is through mail only, and your phone number must be valid phone number. One or two phone numbers you can mention, and check whether that phone number is existing or not. That is very important. Don't give your friends numbers. And objective, seeking a position to utilize my skills and abilities in the information technology industry that offers professional growth while being resourceful, innovative, and flexible. Resourceful means you're telling that I am strong in all these courses, and I will provide my services to the companies. Innovative, I will think innovatively, different ideas I'll get. Just understand the meanings of these words. Flexible to work, flexible in night shifts, or flexible in any time. Like that, you have to give some confidence to the interviewer. Okay, so just don't blindly copy paste the resume. Once read the resume. So you will ask, resourceful means what is resourceful, or what is innovative, what is flexible, something like that they will ask. And here this is a fresher resume, no? Just take up some basic level like core Java, database, MySQL, some web technology. Better you, if you, this is the best thing I think. Any resume, better to follow this skill set only. If you don't know, you remove, you edit this one. Technical skills, any resume, either fresher or experience, I will suggest this technical skills only. Okay, na? Programming languages, web technologies. In this one, if you don't know any skill set, you remove it. That is not an issue. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to keep all these things in your resume. Are you following? And IDEs, and your SDLC models, and your cloud technologies, operating systems. These are all the things. Don't fear if you have any, and all the font must be same actually. Here the font will be Times New Roman. For example, I'll keep 12. So here also you can keep the same font. All main headings one font, all the subheadings one font. Okay, and all these must be in a proper order. You can keep in any format, that is not an issue. Then education qualification. Education qualification, if you have good percentage, always first you have to write your highest degree, BTech, and then intermediate, and then SSC. Don't write SSC first. Highest, latest degree you have to mention here. From which university? No need to mention your college name. Just if you're from JNU, Hyderabad, or Kakinada, you can mention here. Your university name is enough. Year of passed out, percentage. If you have above 60 percentage, write in a tabular format. If you don't have above 60, less than 60 means you can type in a words, so that it will hide your percentage. Because always percentage, this tabular format means every text, whatever you kept, everything will be in a clear format. I hope you understood. Next, this is for fresher, I am telling, fresher. And coming to academic achievements, what you have done in your college days. In your college days, have you done any achievements, like any paper presentation? You can mention. If you're a fresher means, you can mention participate in a technical paper presentation, got second prize, or participate in the college fest, or organized the college cultural activities, or something that you have done in your college 4 years degree, your achievements, that you can mention. Participate in school level sports competition, received prizes, something, so that interviewer will feel, uh, he will identify that you can work in a team, and you are also good team player. He will analyze everything. Companies definitely, they are very much serious about your resume, no doubt about that. You are not serious, but they are serious. And project details, this is very very important. If you are from a BTech or degree point of view, you will do some projects in your college. And one more important point is, if you are applying for a software job, so who is eligible to get a software job means anyone, whether IT or non-IT students also, ECE, triple E, mechanical, anyone is eligible. But if mechanical or non-IT students like ECE or mechanical or triple E, these students are trying for software job, means what you have to do means, you don't highlight your mechanical skill set in your resume. First point. Is it clear? If you are trying seriously IT job means, you don't highlight your mechanical or electronic skills in your resume, because you are indirectly telling you're applying for a software job, means 100% you have to mention the software skill set in your resume. So even though if you do any core related projects in your final year, It is not that much recommended to mention that details in your resume. For example, if you're from ECE background, you have done one project like microcontroller using 8089C52. You have developed one project like a bunker flashing system using microcontroller 8089C52. Indirectly, you're highlighting that you're interested more in electronics background, but you're applying as a Java developer. So it is not recommended. So don't remove your college projects. And after completion, at the time of completion of your course from any training institutes, if you do any sample project, that project you can mention here. Java related projects, any small project you can mention. One project is enough. Okay na? If you are from CSC background, you will do some IEEE projects. No, that project also can mention. If you have two projects, you can keep one is mini project, one is main project. Better to keep some web related projects only. And here after this, if you want to mention any, because you are a BTech student, no, so you want to give some information to the interviewer that I have trained on software courses also. So that is the reason here you can mention some training details if you want. Training details also you can keep here. Training details means here you can tell something like trained at such a technologies for a period of 8 months or 6 months. Is it clear? Here you can mention something like trained at Satya Technologies on Java for a period of 6 months or 8 months. How many months you have trained? You can mention those many months. If you are 1 year gap also you can tell, or 1 year training certificate they will be given in the institute. You can collect after completion of course. Trained at such a technology on Java for a period of 6 months. So some companies will ask you, can you please provide the training certificate also? Did you understood which institute you are from? Mention that training certificate. Are you following? Don't be over smart. So academic achievements. This is the resume. Objective, technical skills, education qualification, academic achievements, training details, project details. Are you following? Training project details you can mention. Means mostly if you're from non-IT background means don't highlight what your non-technical skills. Better to highlight what your IT stuff only in your resume. Is it clear? Mini project, main project, and then date of birth will be there. Don't increase your resume to more than 2 pages is more than enough for a fresher. Reduce the size. Don't increase this. The project description also must be sweet and short. Are you following? Project description also must be sweet and short. Don't increase the size. Is it clear? 100% you can mention if you have done project in IoT or Android or anything. If you have any knowledge on mobile apps, you can mention here. Is it clear? Mobile technologies, if you have any knowledge, that also you can mention here. If you don't have the knowledge, don't mention. If you have any knowledge, mobile technologies means you can go for Android or iOS. But if you don't have the command on all the things, don't mention. Did you understood everyone? Yes, yes. Okay. So that's it. Just 2 pages resume is more than enough. Don't try to increase the size of the resume. Two pages is enough. More than enough. Okay, here you mention your date of birth, father's name, languages, permanent address, all this stuff. I will share this resume also so that you can edit this resume. No problem. Okay. Definitely, because many people, and one more point here, how to save your resume. That is also very, very important. Recently, I forwarded some resumes to some of my some of the companies, but there the problem what we have identified. Is it clear? Whatever the problem we identified means he is telling that you are sending your students are directly sending the resume like this, fresher resume, experience resume.doc, something like that, which is not recommended. Please save your resume with your name. He told that one clearly. Please save your resume with your name, something like Jyoti Chauhan, Chauhan underscore Java, something like this. Very beautiful name. so that he will see in his inbox mails. No, he will check here. Okay, this is some Java resume. Click on save. This is one of the resume. Are you following, everyone? Academic percentage nowadays, nobody is concentrating more on your academic percentage. They are very small companies. If you are technically strong, they will neglect. That is not an issue. Less also, no problem. Less means you do one thing, don't mention your percentage. Don't draw in the tabular format. Just write the words. Completed my BTech from JN to Hyderabad in the year 2013. Complete my intermediate in the year 2009, or complete my SS in the year 2007. That is enough. This is about the fresher resume. This is one model, fresher resume. Is it clear? I'll give some set of sample resumes. I'm prepared for you people only. But technical skill set is very important. Yeah, that is enough. I think that is good. Jyoti Chauhan, that is good. Resume for freshers. Is it clear? But don't keep everything. This is one more model. You can keep your name. Fresher, 2 pages are enough. Yeah, fresher means just 2 pages, because you will draw the boxes and everything. Definitely it will cross. Experienced person, if you have more than 10 years of experience, 1 page is enough actually. If you have 2 to 3 years of experience, 2 pages is enough. Fresher, 1 page. 1 page means if you keep the better stuff, means 1 page is also okay. But if you don't have any proper stuff, means minimum 2 pages you can keep, because technical skill set will be increased. That is the point. See, this is another fresher resume. Okay, now here the technical skill set. Don't be over smart and tell, sir, I will hide all the skill set, means your resume will not shortlist. If you're applying as a Java developer, 100% you have to show your skill set. Are you following? Whatever you know only, not everything. Whatever you know only, you have to show that one. No need to hide. Is it? Don't think that if I keep all these things, interviewer will ask the questions on all these things. Definitely he will ask. But don't remove all the things. At least some advanced Java, core Java, IDEs, these all are the minimum stuff you have to mention. Is it clear? So achievements and all this stuff, this is fine. This is also I'm saving. Some fresher resume. No, don't save as fresher resume. Try to go to your desktop, Java resumes. Here you can give another resume, some Kiran underscore Java. Click on save. Your name underscore Java you can save. Close it. So coming to experienced people. So freshers, what you have to highlight means, I told you. Freshers try to highlight what? Freshers, definitely you have to highlight your skill set. Wait 1 minute. I will download one more resume. I'll share these resumes also. Have some patience. Listen first. First point is how to prepare the resume. That is very, very important. And this is experience resume. 2 years, 3 years experience person. So experienced person, what he has to do? Sorry, wait. This number I want to hide. Yes. First, concentrate on the session. At the end, I will clarify your doubts. So, Sheikh, some name is there. Okay, no, you keep some name, email ID. Email ID you can give. Mobile number you can give. Experience 4+ years. Here you have to mention experienced person must mention your professional summary. Very, very important. Means you are telling professional summary means you are telling that you have 4 years of experience now. In these 4 years, what technologies you worked with, how good you are in Java. You are telling about yourself in the form of professional summary, or 4+ years of experience in IT industry. comprising of Java enterprise web application design, involved in designing, development, maintenance, deployment, support, involved in all phases of SDLC, like requirement analysis, designing, implementation. Just they will ask you what is SDLC, software development life cycle, which SDLC models you are using in your project. You can tell my company is a small company, still we are following the old SDLC waterfall model, but recently from past 6 months I updated to Agile model. Oh, what are your roles and responsibilities in Agile? You have to tell I am the member of the Scrum team. Okay, so what is a Scrum? Scrum is nothing but group of members who are involving in developing the story. Story is nothing but a small task. We'll discuss one day. I will conduct one workshop on Agile also. Hands-on experience in various modules of Spring framework such as Spring IOC, Spring AOP, Spring MVC, Spring Batch, Spring ORM, transaction management. These you have to highlight actually. So when the interviewer will check your resume, he will check this highlighted stuff. Strong hands-on experience on Spring IO, Spring Boot, REST APIs, expertise in implementing the persistence database logic like JDBC by using JPA, Spring JDBC, JDBC template, Hibernate, extensive in Java applications using core Java collections. You're telling I'm good in collections, core Java, data structures, multi-threading. Experienced people. If you're not good in that topics, you remove. If you're not good in multi-threading, no problem. Remove. Don't keep all this stuff. Ajax, JMS, and strong hands-on experience and all this stuff. Experience in creating an efficient front-end development, JSP, JavaScript, jQuery. If you don't know jQuery, remove. But JavaScript you have to keep. Minimum you must have the knowledge on HTML, JavaScript, CSS. That is minimum. Angular. Performed unit testing using JUnit, Mockito, TDD, test-driven development. In olden days, generally first we have to do the development. After development only, testing will be done. But TDD approach is nothing but means first testing will be done. This is a reverse engineering process. After completion of testing, what will happen? Development will done. If you know, you can mention hands-on experience in security, some O authentication, JWT tokens. Is it clear? Spring Cloud is a cloud technology. Inbuilt cloud will be there in Spring. When you work with Spring Boot, inbuilt cloud will be there. YouTuber is asking one question to me. Spring Cloud means what? Means just for deployment purpose, deployment of your application. Spring Cloud, one cloud knowledge is required, AWS or Azure. Inbuilt default cloud will come along with your Spring Boot. That is Spring Cloud. Just for testing purpose. In real time, developer will develop some RESTful services and he want to test these services means cloud software is also required. Hands-on experience in various knowledge like SQL. If you are good in MySQL means you keep SQL. If you are good in MongoDB means keep NoSQL. Don't keep all these things. Which are you are comfortable, you can keep that skill set only. Experience in using build deployment tools such as Jenkins, Docker for continuous integration deployment for microservices, 100%. Microservice is mandatory for experienced person. Angular is mandatory. Angular or React JS. Spring Boot is mandatory, no doubt. Some real-time tools like Docker knowledge is required. AWS minimum knowledge is required. Apache. All these things, IDEs. Having good knowledge in AWS. In AWS, you're good in Elastic Load Balancing, SNS, Elastic Beanstalk, CloudFront. If you don't know AWS, no problem. You can tell them my roles and responsibilities. I am purely into development. I didn't get any opportunity for deployment. Just my responsibility is to just to create the microservices, and we need to give these microservices to the DevOps team. There are two types of teams will be there in IT industry. One is development team will be there. Other one is operations team will be there. Development team, developer means you all are Java developer means you're working on development team only. Your job is to develop the application and move that application to the GitHub. And DevOps engineer job is operations team. They have to collect the files from the GitHub and they will try to deploy that particular files to the server. Deployment job will be done by DevOps. Are you following? Technical proficiency, 100%. Whatever I have given, that also you can keep, or in this model you can keep. Primary skills, languages, web technologies, J2E technologies, frameworks, build tools, database tools, Java IDEs, testing tools. Testing tools means you no need of testing tools, that is separate. Black box testing, white box testing will be there. But basic level testing like JUnit or Mockito, version control tools, SDLC methodologies, cloud computing, or whatever the skill set I have given, that also can mention. Education qualification. I'll share these resumes also. Working as software engineer for Tech Mahindra, Hyderabad from October 18th, professional experience you have to mention here. October 18th to till date. Worked as associate software engineer for Tech Mahindra, some Deccan Infosystems Private Limited as a payroll company, Hyderabad from June 16 to October 18th. Something like this you can mention clearly. But dates are also very important. It must match with your experience. Project 1, company details, business continuity planning for GE applications environment. If you have any project, you can keep, otherwise you can collect from your seniors and ask them to explain about the project. The responsibility, this is very, very important. Roles and responsibilities in your project. When you did any interview, they will ask you, can you explain about your roles and responsibilities? You can tell involving in developing components on BCP tool with Spring MVC or Spring Boot, Spring Framework and Hibernate. Worked as a part of microservices. 100% when you experienced person, you don't give the chance to the interviewer to ask you. You must only tell. If he asks you first question, tell me about yourself. I am so and so. I have 3 years of experience in so and so company. From past 3 years or 4 years, I'm working on Java. In Java, I'm strong in core Java. I'm good in Spring Boot. I'm good in microservices. I'm good in Angular as a front end. And mostly my roles and responsibilities is to develop the APIs and consuming the APIs in front end through Angular, or the data transfer by using JSON, and the database what we used is MySQL, Oracle. Like this, if you tell these points, definitely he will impress, because interviewer will expect the same from you. But you don't hide the content, you have to present the content. Definitely he will feel happy. If you are strong in that area only, keep the technologies here. Responsibilities involving in developing some tools by using MVC, Spring Boot, worked as a part of microservices, worked on RESTful services, worked on jQuery. If you don't have knowledge on jQuery, remove. Used Maven tool for build and package and deployment purpose. Implementing core Java concepts like collections, multi-threading, all these things. Worked on data JPA, Jira tools. These all you have to mention. Experienced person, definitely questions will come on tools only. Okay, then first, this is the first level interview. Once when you're done with all this stuff, interviewer will move to the technical discussion. He will start with core Java. How can you rate yourself in core Java? You can tell out of 5, some 3.5 or 4 you can tell. Advanced Java 4, Spring Boot 4, SQL 3.5, something like that. You can rate yourself. He will ask you to rate collections. Yeah, fine. That is 3. You can tell collections. Even though if you are strong, but just tell. Okay, na? Then definitely you will start interview with core Java. What is class? What are the principles of OOPS? 4 principles are there. Don't prolong the answer. Abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and polymerism. We can achieve the encapsulation by using class. Okay. What is class? What is object? Very simple answer. Class is a user-defined reference type data type which consists of variables and methods. Object is instance of class. Instance means allocating sufficient memory space for instance variables. Very good. That's it. Simple. Can you explain inheritance? Yes, sir. Inheritance is a mechanism of establishing the relationship between the classes. So in application development, we can achieve inheritance in 2 ways. One is by using is a relation. Other one is by using has a relation. Class to class relation is a relation. Object to object relation is has a relation. If you asked about inheritance, slowly you can waste the interviewer time by explaining clearly. More depth you can go. Tell the powerful points. Is it clear? Different types of inheritance, single level, multi-level, hierarchical, hybrid. That is okay. Multiple, everything is fine. Are you following? Then he will ask where you used inheritance in your project. Yeah, sir. Sir, actually, at the time of working with my Spring Boot application or Spring MVC application, there are different types of layers are there in my application. Like I have some controllers are there, service layer is there, DAO layer is there. So we need to establish the relation between these particular layers, connectivity between these layers, that is possible by using has a relation. I think in my project I used has a relation mostly. Mostly you will use has a relation. And at the time of implementation of IOC, you will declare some interface and implemented class. There I implemented is a relation, you can tell. Like that you can take one real-time scenario. Always try to explain the answer with some real-time scenario. Then again, interviewer will definitely ask you, what is polymerism? Yeah, polymerism means anything that exists in multiple forms is called as polymerism. Is it clear? We can achieve polymerism in two ways. One is by using overloading, other one is by using overriding. He will ask you, can you tell me one real-time example of overriding? You can happily explain. Sir, in exception handling mechanism, all the exceptions are predefined classes. The super class for all the exception is exception class. Remaining all are derived classes like arithmetic exception, overflow exception, like lot of SQL exception. So whenever an exception will occur, and in superclass exception, we have one method called print stack trace. That method is overridden in all the derived classes. So whenever an exception will occur, JVM will create an object for the corresponding exception class, and JVM will throw the object to the catch block, and the catch block will identify that what type of exception will occur and return that particular overridden message. That answer will definitely give good experience to good feedback. Definitely interviewer will impress by he asked about overriding, but you mixed overriding example with support of exception handling. That is real time. He is asking about one implementation point of view. Definitely companies will attract. Real time is nothing but mapping, not telling the answers with real world. When interviewer will ask you any question, you have to map. So in my project, I have some has a relation is there, some controller is there, some service layer is there, some DAO layer is there. Now one layer must interact with another layer. So how it is possible? By using has a relation. Something like that. He will impress. Have you worked with Hibernate? Yes. Yes means yes, you tell, sir, I didn't get opportunity to work with Hibernate because Hibernate is outdated. Now the demand is data JPA. Is it clear? Sir, I have knowledge on data JPA because my latest past 1 year or 2 years I'm working on Spring Boot only, Spring Boot with data JPA. My job in the company is just to create some APIs and my APIs will communicate with the database and it will get the result and that result will convert into JSON and again send the JSON result back to what? Front-end application. If you tell the architecture of your project clearly, definitely interviewer will impress you. Is it clear? He will not, he must speak less, you have to speak more. If you're not speaking more, did you understood? If you're not speaking more means definitely he will dominate. When interviewers start playing the game means it is very difficult for you to continue. Did you understood? So as a developer, you must have the knowledge on all this stuff. Do you have the knowledge on like this? He will ask. First, he will ask questions on core Java, exception handling, and collections, all this stuff, and then he will move to SQL. Definitely SQL they will ask. Java or .NET also, fresher or experience also, 100% face-to-face interview, lot of questions they will ask. In SQL also, do you know the basic commands to create a table, insert the record, delete the record? He will ask basic level. First category, SQL questions. Then he will ask questions on constraints, primary key and unique key. What is the difference between primary key and unique key? They will ask. Then they will ask about foreign key constraint. And again, they will increase the depth. Joins, they will ask. Different types of joins. Subqueries, they will ask. Stored procedures, they will ask. Functions, they will ask. High level triggers, cursors, everything they will ask. Just they will check. Okay, now you are good in SQL. You are good in core Java, you are good in SQL. Experienced person, definitely they will ask questions on SQL, no doubt. What is group by class? What is having class? What is order by class? What are the aggregate functions in SQL? These type of questions they will ask. Then they will go to Spring. Do you have the knowledge on Spring? They will ask yes. Then they will ask what is MVC? What is annotations? They will ask some questions. They will ask some different, just Hibernate and data JPA different small questions they will ask. Okay, and they will ask about some tools, GitHub, how to register with GitHub, they will ask how to push the code to the GitHub server, some commands they will ask, some tools. Do you know have the knowledge on DevOps? You can tell I don't have that much command on DevOps, but still DevOps I don't have command on operations tools, but I have command on development tools like Maven, Gradle, like GitHub. These all comes under development tools only. Are you following everyone? Like how many projects you want to keep? Those many. As 4 years experience, he kept 4 projects, but two projects are enough here. You don't need to keep 4 projects. This is also very, very important resume. Okay, I will share all these resumes in my FB group. You can download and prepare your own. Is it clear? 4+ Java resume, very good. Save it. Is it clear? But this skill set is very, very important. How to get internship in the companies means companies will, you must have some references in the companies, or sometimes companies will encourage to provide the internships also. Through that you can attend, no problem. Companies only will give will request to the colleges. If you are from good college, directly you will get the opportunity. So this is how you can concentrate on your resume. Again, a fresher as well as experience. I've shared the FB link. In that link only I will share the resumes. Did you understood? Yes or no? So fresher resume I kept, experience resume also I kept. But try to have some experience on the project and all the other stuff. Please join in that group and you can download these resumes and prepare the resume. You can submit. For any Java batches or any batches, you can just go to satyadak.com. Our website is there. We are providing a lot of free batches. Any batches, any students are interested, you can register for some core Java. Oops is going on, evening batch. Is it clear? A lot of batches are going on here. Is it clear? Some another core Java new batch is going on, I think. You can attend these batches. We are providing internship means we can provide you project oriented training and all these other stuff. You can attend. That is not an issue. Thank you, friends. Catch you later.